Tonight, breaking news, the Trump administration ordering hundreds of Marines to Los Angeles. The rare move to send the military into an American city as new rallies take to the streets. It comes after a weekend of protest opposing immigration raids that turned violent in some places. Waymo cars set ablaze. National Guard deploying crowd control techniques using less lethal bullets. Now, California suing over President Trump federalizing the National Guard as the president floats having Governor Gavin Newsom arrested. Our team takes you on the ground as the community pushes back over raids. Also tonight, the deadly shootings on the Las Vegas Strip near the iconic Bellagio Hotel. The shooting caught on camera, and now the suspect under arrest. Plus,
he was definitely very much around 90% of the time, but then there's that other 10% of the time he was not.
The daughter and ex-wife of accused Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann speaking out. Their first sit-down interview will show you the Peacock exclusive. Man on the runway, the chase at one of the busiest tarmacs on the planet. Up in the air, the zebra finally caught after days evading authorities, what his owners are telling us.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Llamas.
And good evening. Tonight, as we come on the air, there are new tensions in Los Angeles. Demonstrators again taking to the streets to oppose ICE's immigration enforcement operations. And this weekend, we saw violent clashes. Cars torched, downtown buildings spray painted, with at least 56 people arrested. And demonstrators shutting down parts of the 101 freeway. And tonight, word of approximately 700 Marines set to deploy following the president already mobilizing California's own National Guard. That leading to a political showdown, with California announcing a lawsuit against the administration. And President Trump saying today he would support the arrest of California's Governor Gavin Newsom. Tonight, we've got our reporters out across the city, and we begin with Liz Kreutz. Liz, let's start with the Marines being called in tonight.
Yeah, Tom, so officials calling in 700 Marines that are being mobilized here. They're not here in LA yet, but they are on their way. You can see there's a large crowd that is gathered here. Those Marines, we're told, are experts in de-escalation and crowd control, and they're going to join those 2,000 National Guard troops. Some of them you see right there at this federal building, facing off now with protesters.
Tonight, a massive group of protesters again taking to the streets of LA.
In this country, no human is illegal.
The city of Angels on edge after violent clashes over the weekend. Police in riot gear facing off with protesters who oppose immigration enforcement operations carried out by ICE agents. Tonight, President Trump saying he made a great decision to send 2,000 National Guard soldiers to the city.
People that are causing the problem are professional agitators, they're insurrectionists.
California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom opposed the president's move, saying Trump was manufacturing chaos and violence.
You had a disaster happening. I feel we had no choice. I don't want to see happen what happened so many times in this country. I watched Minneapolis burn.
All of this erupting in response to ICE immigration enforcement operations. More than 100 undocumented immigrants arrested last week. DHS saying most had final deportation orders, some with criminal records, including domestic violence and robbery. Mayor Karen Bass calling on residents to express their anger peacefully and blaming the president for inflaming the unrest.
I don't want people to fall into the chaos that I believe is being created by the administration completely unnecessarily.
The confrontations escalating over the weekend. This video showing DHS agents pelted with objects while inside their vehicle. And here, a restaurant worker helping a sheriff's deputy who appeared to be pepper sprayed.
Tonight we had individuals out there shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you.
Police firing non-lethal rounds to disperse the crowds, one hitting this reporter. The protesters taking over one of LA's busiest freeways, bringing traffic Sunday to a standstill. Crowds above throwing rocks and incendiary devices at officers. An electric scooter landing on the hood of a police car.
We're here on 101 right now. Protesters have shut down the freeway. You can see flashlights have been going off. Police are closing in. Protesters are running southbound. Let's go.
Our team pulling back to avoid the tear gas. Later, we watched as protesters vandalized multiple Waymo self-driving vehicles that got stuck in the chaos.
Things are escalating now. Protesters have lit 2 Waymo self-driving cars on fire. You can see the flames here.
Police cars and this American flag also set ablaze. During the clashes, many protesters waving Mexican flags, what's become a symbol of resistance against ICE.
I'm flying this proudly because it's a product of my personal identity, my ancestors.
Protesters opposing the National Guard deployment.
What do you think about the National Guard being brought in?
I think that it's ridiculous because where was the National Guard on January 6th?
This violence that I've seen is disgusting. We are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity.
The LAPD chief asked about the presence of the National Guard, saying he thought local authorities could handle it, but he's now reassessing.
Do we need them? Well, looking at it tonight, this thing has gotten out of control.
Liz Kreutz joins us once again from the scene of those protests. Liz, we saw what happened this weekend. Walk our viewers through what's happening tonight.
Yeah, so right now, this is a large crowd of people that's continuing to grow. It's about 3 different protests, Tom, that are now converging in this one location here outside this federal building where we're seeing the National Guard. We weren't seeing this last night. Los Angeles has just announced a tactical alert citywide here. There's a lot of anger. They're shouting at these officers, but mostly so far it has been peaceful. That's what we're hearing from officers as well. But the big concern is as we head into those nighttime hours, that's when we really start to see the escalation, Tom.
All right, Liz Kreutz leading us off. Liz, please stay safe out there. Now to the growing war of words between the Trump administration and Governor Gavin Newsom over the L.A. protests you just saw. The latest escalation, President Trump suggesting today he'd support arresting Newsom. Here's Jacob Soboroff.
Tensions high tonight on the streets of Los Angeles and between the Trump administration and the state of California. The state today announcing a lawsuit against the administration over its deployment of the National Guard.
I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows.
While President Trump suggested he's open to arresting Governor Gavin Newsom.
I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great.
Tom is Tom Homan, the president's border czar. Over the weekend, Homan and Newsom throwing jabs at one another during interviews with NBC News. Homan saying anyone who breaks the law by standing in the way of immigration enforcement could be arrested, even Newsom or L.A. Mayor Karen Bass.
Are they at risk of being arrested?
I'll say it about anybody. You cross that line. It's a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien. It's a felony to impede law enforcement from doing their job.
That led to this reaction from Newsom, who I met up with last night at the Los Angeles County Emergency Operations Center.
Tom Homan, the border czar, said to me yesterday he did not rule out literally arresting you, nor Mayor Bass, if you interfere in his words. He said you hadn't yet.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? And he knows where to find me. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
Today, Homan clarifying his comments.
They haven't crossed the line, but they're not above the law either. If they commit a crime, they certainly will ask for prosecution. That's what was happening. I never threatened to arrest Governor Newsom.
The protests ignited after a series of immigration raids in L.A., where as many as 1 million undocumented immigrants live.
Before those protests on Friday, one of the locations where ICE reportedly conducted an enforcement operation was right here in this parking lot of a Home Depot in the Cypress Park neighborhood of Los Angeles, where day laborers stand on corners just like this and wait for cars to go by in order to be offered a job and go take one for the day.
In the face of the uncommon raids, these undocumented workers felt it was important to speak out, but wore masks to protect their identities.
Everybody is scared about ICE.
Are you worried about your family, about your families?
Absolutely.
Today, organizer Pablo Alvarado calling the raids the highest expression of hypocrisy.
We need your labor, but we don't want to accept your humanity. We need your labor, but we don't want to respect your rights.
Jacob, let's go back to the president's comments about arresting Governor Gavin Newsom. Our viewers at home are likely wondering, can the president do that?
That would be up to the discretion of federal law enforcement, Tom. A senior White House official tells NBC News, though, that is not being actively planned, nor is it being considered. Meanwhile, Tom Homan does tell me, though, that he does expect those immigration enforcement operations to continue, quote, every day in Los Angeles at locations just like this one, Tom.
All right, Jacob Soboroff for us. Jacob, thank you. Now to the deadly shooting in Las Vegas. Authorities today arrested the accused suspect in connection with the double homicide that happened right on the Vegas Strip. A warning, the video you're about to see is disturbing. Ryan Chandler joins us now live from Vegas. And Ryan, the shooting happened right where you were?
Tom, that's right. This is the exact spot where those shots rang out less than 24 hours ago. You see this spot on that live stream, which captured this shooting in real time. You see this famous sidewalk buzzing with people hoping to catch a glimpse of the iconic Bellagio fountains when what sounds like 7 shots ring out. We spoke to a man today who told us he was just steps away from the shooter when he started firing, telling us he ran for his life, fearing that this was another mass shooting, taking shelter in a nearby hotel. Now, police tell us today that 41-year-old Manuel Ruiz turned himself into a Henderson police station. They say that this was an isolated incident that kicked off as a feud online, as a conflict on social media that tragically escalated, not yet identifying the victims. Tom.
All right, Ryan Chandler, we thank you. Now to an exclusive first look at stunning interviews with the ex-wife and daughter of accused Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann, talking on camera for the first time in a new documentary on Peacock. Here's Stephanie Gosk.
While accused serial killer Rex Heuermann sits in jail charged with murdering 7 women.
The question everyone keeps asking is, how could you not know?
His former wife and daughter are speaking out for the first time in a new crime documentary debuting tomorrow on Peacock, part of NBC Universal.
I was 10, 12, and 13 years old when these girls were murdered.
The Gilgo Beach murders on Long Island, New York were considered a cold case for more than a decade, until 2023, when Heuermann was arrested in Midtown Manhattan. The architect linked to the crimes partly through DNA he left on a pizza crust, according to prosecutors.
How you doing? I'm doing great, now that I've got you on the phone.
In the documentary, his ex-wife, Asa Ellerup, says Heuermann is her hero, and she is convinced police have the wrong guy.
The night of the raid, they drove us over to the hotel, and they got us a room.
The reason she filed for divorce in the days after his arrest, she says, was to protect the family's assets. But his daughter sounds less convinced of his innocence.
I feel like I can't know whether or not he did or didn't, because I was not around for it. I was too young to understand.
Noting that she spent stretches of time not seeing her father.
Like I said, at the same time, there was a lot of hours out of the day that I also was not home, including vacations that he did not join us on.
Heuermann pleaded not guilty to all 7 murders. There is still no date set for his trial. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
All right, now to the severe weather threat with 52 million people in the way. Al Roker is here tonight, and Al, already reports of severe weather in parts of the states.
Absolutely. We got severe thunderstorm watches right now, Tom, for much of Michigan, from western New York all the way down into the Gulf, and then also parts of western Texas. 52 million people, damaging wind. Tornado can't be ruled out, and gusts of 70 miles per hour. Tomorrow, it's confined to the southeastern and mid-Atlantic coasts, also out west into Texas, where we could be looking at damaging hail, wind gusts, low tornado threat, heavy rain upwards of 3 to 5 inches in central Texas, heavier rain down in southern Florida as well. And the heat is on in the Pacific Northwest, central California, into the southwest for 13 million people, with temperatures anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees above average, Tom, but cooling off as we get toward the weekend.
All right, Al Roker for us. Al, we thank you for that. We are back in a moment with the massive egg recall after dozens were sickened with salmonella. Plus, the man on the loose on one of the busiest tarmacs in the world. How this happened. That's next. We are back now with some terrifying moments aboard a plane right before it crashed into the Pacific on Sunday. Those are the last words over the radio from the pilot of a Cessna headed to Phoenix before crashing into the waters off San Diego. The FAA saying all 6 people on board, including the pilot and 5 passengers, have died. One witness tells NBC News he saw the plane come out of the clouds and nosedive right into the ocean. And at London's Heathrow Airport, some wild moments. Take a look at this. You can see a man there running from airport officials on the taxiway next to active runways. The man was chased for more than a minute before being apprehended by authorities. The UK Home Office tells NBC News they are investigating this incident. And a warning tonight from the CDC and the FDA, who are investigating a salmonella outbreak linked to at least 1.7 million eggs across 9 states. According to the FDA, brown cage-free and brown certified organic eggs distributed by the August Egg Company from February through May may be linked to salmonella. So far, the CDC says at least 79 people have become sick. Okay. Okay, when we come back, the zebra that earned his stripes as a viral sensation. I talked to his owners, just reunited after days on the loose.
Helicopter.
Finally, there's good news tonight as authorities end a wild week-long search. By now, you might have heard of Ed the Zebra that took over the internet and the streets of Tennessee. Tonight, how he ended up flying with a helicopter and making it back home. As these images took off on television and social media of a zebra on the loose in Tennessee.
There's a tag on him, too.
Taylor Ford, who recently purchased a zebra, had one thought.
I said, hey, I think that I need to go check and see if our zebra is in our yard.
Turns out the family's new zebra, they had just named Zeke, was done with the Ford's yard and took his show on the road.
Careful, careful.
It seemed every road in Tennessee. As millions saw the clips of Zeke, the Fords, who own about 100 animals on their farm, weren't exactly laughing.
I was worried that someone was going to get hurt. I was worried that this was going to, become not a happy ending to the story.
State and local officials joined private animal rescue workers in a week-long search. Zeke got so popular, he got a stage name, the internet calling him Ed. Then this Saturday, a break in the case. This video from the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office showing the zebra airlifted and flown by helicopter to a waiting animal shelter. When you saw Ed in that harness being lifted by a helicopter, what did you think?
Biggest relief you could ever imagine.
The owners say they footed the bill for the search, but Taylor's true takeaway? Listen to your wife. She thought buying a zebra might be a mistake.
That should be a lesson that America will learn. Your wife is always right. In this situation, she was 100% right.
Listen to your wife. Words to live by. That's Nightly News for this Monday. Remember, tonight and always, we're here for you. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Llamas. Have a great night.